Hi everyone, it's Tyrone from TyroneShum.com. Today I've got a special guest here on the call with me. You've probably already seen him previously. I've interviewed Chris Ducker before, and I just wanted to get Chris on the line today because I want to share with you something really exciting and something that I've used as a service as well too. So I probably should introduce Chris first. How you going, Chris?
Very good. How about yourself?
Good, mate. Well, the reason why I got Chris on the call today was I've been talking to Chris quite a bit, and just from personal experience, I believe that Chris has one of the best places to find people to outsource virtual assistants and anything that you need in the Philippines. Because being over in the Philippines, where Chris is right now, is a huge opportunity for him to be able to find good quality staff for you. So I thought, okay, Chris has got a new service that's come out called the Virtual Staff Finder, and I thought, why not get Chris on the line to share a little bit more information about this service, a service that I've used already and I found exceptional and something that I can highly recommend. So Chris, maybe just share with us why you started up this service and also a little bit more about how it works.
Okay, well, the reason why I set this thing up more than anything else, I had to think then for a minute.
I didn't realize that.
The reason why I set it up more than anything else is because as my own outsourcing company, the Lift to Sell Group, has grown over the 5 odd years that we've been in business, our own sort of business strategies have changed a little bit. We no longer work with very small companies or entrepreneurs. We tend to sort of focus on partnering up with, medium to large size companies nowadays. And that's just a strategy thing. It's not because we don't like the little businesses or the mom and pop places and things like that. Fact of the matter is that, with every company, as they grow, things change, strategies change, and we were no different. And I mean, as an entrepreneur myself, I really did miss, and I'm talking about really for the last year or so, we haven't worked with any sort of entrepreneurs or small companies. I've really been missing those one-on-one collaborations and those conversations, those, brainstorming, mind mapping sessions and things like that. And it just became very evident to me from talking to people like yourself who are obviously involved with the outsourcing industry online, and also with the clients that were coming through to, through our website, through the Lift to Sell website, that there was a massive gap in the market for people that wanted to work with home-based virtual assistants, but perhaps maybe didn't want to spend the time and the effort and a certain amount of money to go through all of the process of trying to find somebody, and then have possibly the risk in wasting a lot of time and money by choosing the wrong people. And I think there's a lot of horror stories online by using all these, these job websites, which I'm not going to mention because I don't want to get into trouble with them.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of horror stories where, you pay people and they disappear on you and all this sort of stuff. And for me, that's, it's just not fair for the entrepreneurs. So we set it up to bridge that gap. Fundamentally, that's the tagline of the service, is to bridge the outsourcing gap between working with a home-based virtual assistant and having the backbone and the infrastructure in terms of the interviewing and background checking and vetting and testing that we have with this Lift to Sell group that we use ourselves internally when we're hiring people for our company. We have over 220 people working for us now. So it's tried and tested. It really does work.
Awesome. Well, the thing is, probably just to mention as well, I've worked with quite a lot of students and members within Mass Outsource, and also I still get a lot of people inquiring through my blog as well and through massoutsource.com. Tyrone, I can't find anyone who's suitable. I've been through the job websites that you've recommended, and I'm not saying that those websites are probably the best or not any good or anything like that, but it is a struggle because sometimes to deal with and to find the right quality people does take time. So what Chris is able to do with this service, and the reason why I find it's an awesome service and it works really well, is that it saves you time. It saves you a huge amount of time having to go out there and find it yourself, do the interview process, back and forth testing and so forth. What Chris can do for you is really streamline that time and interview them for you, make sure the process is all correct in place, and then basically hand to you food on a silver platter. And you get basically the right candidate, and saves you so much time having to spend looking for them. And I'll give you an example because I have used his service already. He was actually able to, I actually contacted Chris and I said, look, Chris, I'm struggling to find a good quality programmer out there, specifically for PHP. And because of that, I just said, look, I've been looking through so many different qualifications, tried this website, tried that website, and just couldn't find the right one. I said, Chris, can you see for me, since you're in the Philippines, anyone that's local around your area to be able to come and get interviewed and potentially be a candidate for my company? So he went out there within probably a couple of days, came back with an awesome response. And since then, I hired him. He's been on my team for, I don't know how long now, but he's just been on. He's an awesome, awesome programmer. So thanking to Chris that if I didn't actually ask you, I wouldn't have had him on board. So I can tell you, just from personal experience, the service that Chris provides is just tremendous value, because the kind of things that he can do for you, not only can he find good candidates, but he'll also give you that personalized service to find out exactly what you want. And this is just a testimonial for Chris's service called the Virtual Staff Finder, which I think, in my opinion, is probably one of the best resources to help find virtual assistants and virtual staff all across from the Philippines. So, yeah, in saying that...
I'd like to just add one thing as well, and I think this will put a lot of people's mind at ease as well, as I actually have now put together a team. When we were working with you, actually, it was just myself and my assistant that was working with people locally to find, I believe it was Joseph, right? The name of your programmer that we found you. And he actually is based here in Cebu, and he came into the office. I met with him very briefly, and he chatted with a couple of the staff and everything. But obviously, not all the virtual assistants that we help entrepreneurs find and start work with are based here in Cebu. You know, a lot of them are in Manila, and that's an hour on an aeroplane away. And, you know, so what I've actually done is I've set up a team of 3 girls now that consistently work not only with the clients and the entrepreneurs that hire us for the service, but also with the virtual assistants as well. And this is a very important part. We pre-program their mindset on the types of things like when they should get paid, how they should get paid, how much they should get paid, the type of work that they'll be doing for their virtual bosses, how to work for their virtual bosses, and things like that. And not only and I don't actually do that myself. I have Filipinos speaking to other Filipinos in their local tongue, in the local dialect, where there's no, you know, there's absolutely no worries at all. You know that what they're saying is getting across to them perfectly. There's no communication barriers or problems in any way whatsoever. And so far, we've placed we launched the service a week ago. In the last week, we've had close to 20 people sign up for it. And I think we've already placed about 7 or 8 virtual assistants. And so far, the response has just been phenomenal. People are just like, wow. You know, they really know what they'll be doing for me. And that is, half the battle as well. Is number 1, finding somebody, but number 2, finding someone that's actually going to know what you want them to do for you on a day-to-day basis. And part of the process in the service is for the entrepreneur or the virtual boss to actually put together a very good quality job description as well, so we can find the right candidate in that place as well. It's not just about putting a job ad on a website. We want to know exactly what your virtual staff member is going to be doing on a day-to-day basis, so we can find the absolute best candidate for that as well.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I say to a lot of people, and I always refer a lot of people back to you, Chris, because the fact is that a lot of them just come back to me and say to me,
thank you. You're right. No, I've had a ton of sign-ups from you, a ton, and not just for Virtual Staff Finder, but also for the Lift to Sell group as well. A few full-time, solution provided VAs as well. So thank you very, very, very much.
You're welcome. Anytime, because if you can look after my clients, it makes them happy. It makes me happy too. So, but in all that I've seen is that the thing that is so important is finding the right quality candidate is not easy. And I know that it's not, because I've been through it myself and I've filtered through hundreds and hundreds of candidates. And sometimes you just get frustrated, and it's probably better to have somebody who's physically there and has a team backing behind you to actually go through that process, which in the end, if you spend a whole week trying to find something and Chris does it in a couple of hours for you, you can imagine the cost saving that you'll gain back from that. So definitely I highly, highly recommend checking out the Virtual Staff Finder. If you do want to find out more about Chris's service, just simply shoot him an email, which I'll put a link right down below here, and you can contact him anytime. He's a friendly guy, so don't be afraid of him. And if there's any further questions that you want to ask me as well, just feel free to shoot it through. But I hope that you take this service on and have a look at it and consider it if you are looking for virtual staff right now, because this is an awesome service. Anything else you want to add, Chris, as well too?
No, not at all, except for the fact that you're a very kind gentleman for that very nice testimonial. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You can use it any way you want to. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, just simply click on the link that's right below in this video as well too. And I'm pretty sure that Chris will look after you straight away too. So thanks again,
Certainly
Chris.
Will.
You're
No
welcome.
problems, mate. It was my pleasure.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming onto the call and sharing with our audience. And also I hope that the people who see this will benefit from this as well. Now, if you like more resources like this one, you can find them inside Mass Outsource Mastermind, along with video tutorials and step-by-step instructions showing exactly how I use them. To get a 30-day, no-risk trial membership to Mass Outsource Mastermind, simply visit freevideoset.com. Until next time, I wish you success in your quest for outsourcing.